Hello fantasy managers, and welcome back to another video from myself, Will, and fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. We've had an announcement last night that there is going to be a confirmed double game week in the upcoming game week 29. We're going to be having a look at what teams that involves and what potential transfers you should be making before moving on to my own team and my transfers around the upcoming double game week. Let's get to it. Okay, so these are the confirmed double game weeks. Man City will have a double game week against Manchester United and Arsenal. Arsenal's double game week will involve West Ham and Manchester City. Now, ordinarily, you're going to be thinking that every time Man City has a double game week, you want to load up on all of their players, same as Arsenal. But before we jump onto all of their players, I'm going to go over why we actually might want to be a little bit cautious about doing that. Okay, so this is Manchester City's confirmed fixtures in March, and as you can see, they have 4 matches in under 10 days, so they've got a lot of matches. They play United, Arsenal, Burnley, and then of course the big one, especially for Manchester City and Pep Guardiola, is they play Real Madrid on Tuesday the 17th of March. Now you're going to be thinking that there is going to be a lot of rest and rotation over this period. There is, it's always difficult to try and second guess Pep, but you've got to be thinking that, the likes of De Bruyne, even though he's been one of the most secure starters for City, they're not going to play, all of the minutes in these matches. I would stress that, that City versus Real Madrid, he's going to be wanting his best 11 out for that. That makes me think that there's going to be a lot of rotation actually in that Burnley match, which is the game week 30 fixture. And of course, Man City blank in game week 31. That blank is confirmed now. So if you're going to jump on City players, you've got to be aware of, looking forward to game week 30, where there's going to be a lot of rest of rotation, and also game week 31, where they're not going to play. So if you are building your team up for that big blank game week 31, then you're going to have to be bringing players in and out of your team. The same applies to Arsenal. We're going to come to Arsenal after this, but I think that is really important to consider if you are planning your transfers for blank game week 31. Okay, just jumping into our Opta Stats tool, and I'm going to have a look at City, and I'm actually going to sort by minutes. And as you can see, Ederson is the only player to have played, all the minutes over the last 5 game weeks. And I think this is kind of an interesting sort of reflection of those players that are most secure. Interestingly, De Bruyne comes in second there. I do think that he is likely to get a lot of minutes. I would be surprised that even if he did get the full 180, but I think that, he has the best chance of getting the most minutes over this period. Obviously, the likes of Aguero, they don't need, 180 minutes to score well. And I think that he could potentially be an interesting transfer. For me, though, I do think that, certainly in that premium striker bracket, Aubameyang is probably the better pick. What I would want to say in general, though, is currently I've got De Bruyne. I'm happy with probably just having De Bruyne for this double game week, and I know that seems a little bit counterintuitive, and ordinarily I would be jumping on loads of City players, but considering how much rest and rotation there's going to be, considering there is going to be a lot of rest and rotation, I think, in game week 30 as well, and considering they've got a blank in game week 31, and I'm looking to use my transfers to make sure I have as many players possible in the big blank game week 31. All that means that I'm likely to avoid bringing in more Manchester City players. Moving on to Arsenal then. Now, Arsenal have a really plum home tie against West Ham. I think that's, potentially one of the best fixtures of the season. And, even for a single game week, that you could potentially see a justification for bringing in, the likes of Aubameyang. Then they go away to Manchester City. Difficult match, but, Manchester City's defence is a little bit dodgy. And then they've got a good match against Brighton on the Saturday, the 14th of March. What I would say, again, these fixtures are pretty condensed, so I'm going to be surprised if any sort of Arsenal outfield player is going to, get the 270 minutes. But I do think that Aubameyang is a really good shout, actually. I'd expect him to play, a good chunk of minutes. I'm not going to say more than that because it is impossible to predict Arteta. But, Arteta's going to be wanting to go to Man City and put in a good display against his old bosses. If you're looking for something a little bit different, you could potentially try Pepe. I do think Aubameyang probably the prime pick, but Pepe is an interesting alternative, and I think that he is going to get a majority of minutes you would expect. He seems to be playing well. He seems to be becoming sort of a key cog in that Arsenal machine now. So I think that he is an interesting route. Personally, he doesn't fit into my team structure, but I do think that he is a potential interesting differential route if you wanted to go that way. So as I'm sure most of you already know now, but I do think it is worth reiterating, there is going to be a big blanking game week 31. Obviously, Arsenal and City are definitely going to blank in there. But just to, make sure that you're aware of this blank game week, did a chip strategy video on how I'm navigating blank game week 31 and also the doubles and blanks that are going to follow this. I'll leave a link in the information card above. Moving on to my team and my transfers then, and I would say that first of all, I'm not set on any transfer. I'm going to wait till the FA Cups have completed tonight. I'm going to wait until we get more news on Jamie Vardy and potentially even Traore. It looks like Traore is going to be out with a shoulder injury, but we don't know too much about Jamie Vardy at the moment, so I'm going to wait on those two bits of information. I have only got one free transfer and I can't do Vardy to Aubameyang. I'm a little bit short, so if I did want to get Aubameyang, I would probably be needing to take a hit, and I'm a little bit reluctant to take that hit. But if Vardy is confirmed out, then I might be tempted. But I do also want to get Sarr, and I can't do Traore and Vardy to Sarr and Aubameyang. So that's kind of where my head's at the moment. I'm not going to make a decision probably until Friday when we've got, the full information. I do really like the look of Aubameyang though. I think he is going to be a good pick, and of course he will be a very good captaincy. Just to pull up the captaincy poll that I put out an hour ago on Twitter, and Aubameyang is leading the way, De Bruyne second, Salah third, and that's probably, the way I put it. I think that Aubameyang is probably the prime captaincy pick this weekend. So if you don't have him and you've got an easy route to get him, then I would be very tempted by that move. Thank you so much for the thousands of you that are already Hub members. If you do want to try out our membership, just go to fantasyfootballhub.co.uk/free trial. You can use all the tools I demonstrated in this video, and of course all of those member benefits down the side. But otherwise, if you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn those notifications on. Bye for now.